Thank you, Abraham. I want you to speak to me more of this resistance and cleaning up vibration.
This is the thing that causes you to point upstream when you don't need to. Mm-hmm. You're so interested in how you might affect everybody else in the world that you allow yourself to subject yourself to thoughts that are not good for you until they begin to feel normal. And then you say, in my next life, will I be more aware? And we say, you got guidance within you now, you got to use it, you see. And any thought that feels uncomfortable is counter to who you are and what you want. And if you could just know that and get off of it. Jerry and Esther have 4 little grandchildren, and Kate is 4. And they were playing the game where they had a little toy car and someone would hide it. And everyone else would hide their eyes. And then as those who didn't know where it was would try to find it, the one who knew where it was would give them clues. Well, you're getting warmer. You're getting warmer, meaning you're getting closer. Oh, you're getting very cold now, meaning you're very far away from it. It's a game that children can play. They get it. And it's the game of emotions. The thing that's screwy is that somehow you've forgotten that good is good. There's this stream and it's flowing and it's taking you to everything that you want. Yeah. And when you're going to everything you want, you feel good. And when you're not, you're not. That's pretty much it. And doesn't matter how long you've not been or why you've not been. The only thing that matters is you've not been. It would be like, can you imagine, Jerry and Esther are always in some place they don't know. So they walk up to someone and they say, we're lost. We want to find the Barnes & Noble bookstore. And we've been looking all up the street. And he says, oh, it's down there on the corner. And they say, but we're looking up here for it. And he says, well, it's down there on the corner. And they say, you don't understand, we're lost. We've looked every square inch from here 5 miles up the street. And he would say, it's down there. And they're saying, but we've looked everywhere. We've looked everywhere. And finally he would have to walk away because he's trying to tell you where it is, but you're insisting in doing something in the opposite direction of where it is. And we want to emphatically say to you that your emotions are giving you just that kind of a read. Negative emotion always means you're moving in opposite direction of what you want. You can't get there as long as you feel that way. You cannot get there. You've got to turn around.
Okay. Are the streams in physical and non-physical the same?
It's the same stream, and that's why it flows so powerfully. It was the intent you were born with. It's who you have become. It's the current that is you calling you.
So as I kind of release my resistance, I feel my life is kind of slowing down. I see less conflict, less...
Well, it isn't slowing down. It's like if the stream is moving and you're moving with it, it feels calm. Okay. And so calm is good. Calm is going with the flow. Not calm is clinging to the bottom and the stream's beating you up. Really not calm is frantically fighting this current, you see.
Yes.
It's like an airplane. It's high in the sky. It's going 600 miles an hour. You look out the window, all is well. Put that same airplane on the ground at 600 miles an hour, doesn't feel so well. And it's the same sort of thing. When you start going with the flow, when you start thinking about what you want and why you want it, when your expectation gets in there with your desire, now that's why we're talking all day, every day about just turning and going with the flow and letting the stream take you to all of the wonderful places that you want to go and to all of the wonderful experiences. The stream will take you. Just stop fighting the current.
I'm trying. Thank you.
You're doing very well. You're just thinking too much and not feeling enough. And all of you are that way to a degree. You've compared yourself with one another, and you have this thing where you've in your being socialized into your environment where other people want you to integrate and get along. You have compared your ideas with theirs so much that you've come to the conclusion that there's right and wrong, and if you're right, they've got to be wrong. This stream is so full of right stuff for so many people, and it will take you all to where you want to be. And you don't have to compare yourself with one another. Everything always works out. You never get yourself in a bind that you cannot easily get out of. We don't care if you have 15 deadly illnesses. If you can turn downstream and move toward this bright, brilliant wellness that is waiting for you, there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. But you've got to care about how you feel and use that as your criteria. Otherwise, you're all over the place. Can you imagine the navigational system in your vehicle giving you 10 different maps of where 10 different people are and 10 different maps of where 10 different people want to go and giving them to you all at once? And yet that's what you try to do. You listen to this one and 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 this one, where your own gut feeling is telling you every time which way to go. And if you've got a knot in your gut, turn the other way. When you feel relief, you're going in the right way. When the relief goes away, you're going the wrong way. When the relief comes back, you're going the right way. Just feel for that feeling of relief and let the source that is within you guide you to everything you want. Good time for a segment of lunch. We are complete.
Back to the worldview concept. If a culture or a religion or a political group could physically control one could control the other because they didn't like the other person's ideas, and let's say they conquered, let's say, that other party and defeated them totally, is there any possible way they could convert the other people into their beliefs, political, religious, or cultural, without also attaining the beliefs of those they're trying to destroy to some degree?
You mean, would it be a melting pot?
Is there not some bigger plan or something that we are set off in very different concepts in different continents, let's say, or areas, and not only different, but so different that they seem to stay that way for thousands and thousands of years, more or less?
Well, your difference is your greatest strength. Your diversity is the platform from which you become more and expand. And so the fear that someone could become dominant enough that they could control the thinking will never, ever, ever be, because first of all, the expansion of that which we all are has too great of a foothold. But the other thing, and now we're speaking in terms of the law, no matter which side of that you are standing on, as you stand there as the one who is being conquered, let's say, yes, as the one who is being told that your ideas are inappropriate and that you should adopt these other ideas, the biggest thing that happens to you in the forcing of something that you're not ready for is a powerful cry or asking for your own personal freedom. And as that happens in a movement that is as big as the one you're talking about, then these new energies that come forth from that source energy vantage point come with a stronger than ever intention to understand and know and actualize and live their freedom. And so you are already at the place on this planet. We promise you there will be no conquering of anyone in your environment. As a people, there is too much individualism. You just don't need to worry about it. People worry about even your nation becoming such a dominant, oppressive power that the others will have to yield to it. And already somebody has a bomb. Already. In other words, almost the moment that there was some fear that you could be imperialistic, some country that you were not even apparently watching says, you are not the boss of me. And the people in Iraq are saying, you are not the boss of me either. In other words, it's happening all around your planet. There are individual energies that are following the call of source because it is unnatural for there to be one thinking. None of you said, I will go forth into this time-space reality and I will take all of the ideas that exist and whittle them down to just a few good ideas. No one said that. You all said, we'll go forth into this environment and the ideas will be expansive. And it's only from your place of fear that you need to control conditions or circumstances, you see. Oh, your world is brighter today from our vantage point than it has ever been. And while you are, as you always have been, going through some growth pains in your expressing of who you are becoming, still you are becoming it faster than ever before. So now back to the specifics of your question. Can I, the conqueror, conquer you without me taking on some of your ideas?
Yeah.
The answer is no. In fact, that's why the conqueror seeks to conquer, because the more he sees problems in you that he needs to conquer, the more he becomes a vibrational match to those problems that he saw in you, and he brings them on himself. You cannot condemn anything without becoming a vibrational match to what you are condemning.
That's what I thought I've been seeing through my lifetime, as I've seen one group totally seem to overtake another. As I've been watching, it seems like they start taking on the very things that they thought they didn't like, and the reason they thought they were taking the other over.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Okay.
So that the freedom that you attempt to maintain as you try to deprive someone else of their freedom. And after a while, you have to say, something is screwy with this. Because not only is the one who perceives himself of being deprived of his freedom negatively affected, but the one who is doing the depriving, because now he must be more guarded, because he has seen himself deprive you of your freedom. Now he must watch over his shoulder for the one who will now deprive him of his freedom. Wow. And on it goes, and bigger the bombs get.
Wow. Thank you.
However, in all of that, the desire is stronger and the call of source is louder. And that call of source is what's calling the eternalness here. In other words, that call of source is what makes you come here, what makes you interact, which makes you give birth. You are eternal beings. And when we say eternal, we're not talking about the sitting on the clouds with our feet dangling over the edge kind of eternal. We're talking about the physical form, leading edge, time, space, reality eternal. In other words, this is a stable environment. This is the leading edge of creation. This is what we've all been queued up for, you see. And it's time for you to stop worrying about it and float on your trip a little bit and start riding the crest of the waves that you have given birth to. You don't have anything to worry about. When your world looks as if something is wrong, it makes you individually ask for what you believe is right. And you get a few billion people on the planet having those personal experiences. We promise you, you're not having the identical experiences. You're not coming to the identical conclusions. You're coming to a myriad of personal differing conclusions. So your planet is becoming more and more and more diverse. More and more and more, and therefore more and more strong and expansive. This is the best time that we've ever seen to be in physical form. This is the leading edge time, and everything that we've all lived before has queued us up for this. And the whole reason that we come and visit with you now is because we want you to relish in what you are in the process of creating while you are here in this physical body. Get yours now. Get it now. Get your joy now. Get your feeling of accomplishment now. Let your prosperity come to you now. Let your clarity come to you now. It will come when you croak soon enough. Let it be there now. Good time for a segment of refreshment. Here we are. Thank you. So all day here today, we'll be talking about who you really are. And we want you to leave this gathering with this very clear perspective of this non-physical being that you are, were before you were born, are now. This non-physical you that was born into this physical experience. And that non-physical part of you that spends not a moment focused upon what is not wanted. In the moment that your life causes you to synthesize a preference. And do you know you don't even have to give words to it? You don't have to say, I proclaim to the God of all gods that I want this. You don't have to put it to words. All you have to do is live the experience. The desires are born naturally. Even if you are a one-celled organism, this is happening to you, you see. This is what the evolution of all species is about. This is what the expansion of the universe is about. The only question is, what are you doing about staying up to speed with you? And the answer is, if you don't feel good, you're not up to speed. And if you feel great, you are. And if you're feeling better and better, you're getting more up to speed. And if you're feeling worse and worse, you're not.